Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I just stopped myself from clapping. Oh my god. Sorry. I'm Allison. If you're new here, if you're not new here, then obviously welcome back. And I'm so excited that any or all of you decided to join me today. It's a lovely Wednesday. It's not Wednesday when I'm recording this, but it is Tuesday evening, so it's basically the same thing, right? Like I'm going to bed in like 2 hours, so it's basically Wednesday. But I'm so sorry. I'm being very giggly and laughy, but I'm very excited about this build. It's one I guess I'm very excited about. Like I just said, it's a Generations apartment. It's in, oh my goodness, is it 20 Culpepper house in the Spice District in San Myshuno. We end up with 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, which is honestly quite a bit. I feel like every other time I renovate this apartment, I end up with less bathrooms. But honestly, the only thing I wish I would have changed, I guess, with this layout is that the 2 teens end up with like this huge room, but like it's up front with all those windows. So I think next time I do something like this, I might have to kind of switch it up and maybe make it for less people, and then in the back where I have the bathroom right now in this floor plan, maybe make a big study and another big bathroom. And then in the teens room, kind of have a living area. But I don't know. I really love this floor plan that I have with this one. It's one I've done before when I've renovated this apartment. I haven't renovated this apartment on the channel before. I don't think I've done any duplicates yet, and I imagine I will probably do a few duplicates. I actually haven't done like probably my favorite apartment in the game. I haven't done like very many of the ones in Evergreen Harbor, so I'll probably have to step up my I don't know. I'm gonna do more apartments this month, so hopefully I can get some more in. But I haven't done any there, and I also haven't done I think it's the 19 Culpepper. It's the one with the balcony on it over here in the Spice District. And I really, really like that one. And I also I like all of them in the Spice District, to be honest. They're my favorite, even the Jasmine Suites, I believe. But yeah, the kitchen, this apartment, I did all in one sitting. So, honestly, as I was looking back at this footage, I was like, I really used a yellow curtain in the kids' room. And honestly, I have no clue how I did it or why I did it, but it doesn't look terrible once I put it all together. But like when I first put it down, I was like, oh, there's no way I kept that color. But I did, and I was like, oh my god. I also used this couch. I was going for more of like a traditional feel. Same with the armchair that I'm putting down in the living space right now. More of a traditional feel, even though this apartment is pretty open. Like it's all open concept for the living areas, and then there is like a hallway obviously to all the bedrooms, because I don't know, it just, there's so much room in this apartment. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I keep yawning. Like I said, I'm going to bed soon. But like I was originally trying to say, I kind of was going for like a more traditional look with this apartment, and so kind of some more classical furniture, like using these curtains like from the Cats and Dogs pack. I literally never use those curtains. And I never use that base game rug in the living room. And I occasionally use the werewolf rug that we have in the dining room. But honestly, a lot of this stuff I use, I also never use like the kitchen set that I use. Not the counters. Obviously, I love the Parenthood counters, so I use those ones a lot. But like the fridge, the range hood, the stove, and oven kind of situation, I like never use that. But I did get a nice little front entryway over here. That's what we're decorating right now. And I kind of contemplated on whether I should keep everything the way it was. And honestly, I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. And I obviously added the thermostat because that's a must. And then this picture I'm putting over above the dining space, I imagined it was like the grandma and grandpa on their date. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. Like back when they were like younger. But in this house, I do have a mom and dad, grandparents, and then 2 children and 2 teens. And I imagined that it was 3 girls and 1 boy. And so I imagined that the 2 older ones were both girls. The two teens were both girls. And so kind of one of them, the older one, I imagine was kind of more like getting ready to go off to university and was really into art and pink. And then the other one was maybe more like a sophomore in high school for my American friends. She's really into like basketball and like pink and blues and is just really big into sports and kind of winning. But I mean, fair enough. And then the two children, I imagined that they might be twins. I wasn't quite sure. I imagined that, I wasn't quite sure, I guess. I think they're probably like fourth, fifth, like early to late middle school, kind of in that area. At least the boy. I imagined it went girl, girl, boy, girl. And they could even be twins, because I imagined, I guess as I was decorating, I was like, oh, it'd be kind of cool idea if, like, they had, like, the two daughters, and then they found out they were pregnant, and they could only find the sex of the one baby, and they found out it was a girl, and then they were just, like, hoping and praying that they ended up with a boy, and then there was a boy, obviously. I also put, sorry, I'm just totally jumping back. We just did, like, the laundry room, and I actually put a vacuum from Bust the Dust in this build, and I literally never do that. I never put vacuums in my builds, but I was making it, and I tried to search dustpan, because I couldn't find the broom and dustpan that come with laundry day, and everyone knows that's what I put as a staple in my builds. Like, it goes in almost all of them. There will be a broom in 95% of my builds, but I was trying to find it, so I searched dust, and then all the vacuums came up, and I was like, you know what? I have room for a dustpan, like a vacuum, so I put a vacuum in here. And now we're back. We kind of jump all over in, like, the main area for a while, because I couldn't quite figure out. They weren't, like, definite spaces, so it was kind of just me jumping back and forth, being like, alright, I've cluttered up the living room a good chunk, let me hop back over to the kitchen, or let me go into I didn't really clutter up the dining room, because in my, I don't know, I guess I could have put, like, a salt and pepper shake. We don't really have, like, a solid napkin holder, in my opinion. But I definitely tried to make the living space lived in. I put a laundry basket in there, some kids' crafts, some granny crafts, some kids' toys. Just kind of make it look lived in. And honestly, I love the little fact of, like, the laundry, because that's so realistic for me. I always do laundry, and so did my mom, like, while we're watching TV. So it just kind of, like, makes sense for me to put it in there. And I kind of, like, sprinkled laundry throughout the entire build. It makes it look more lived in. And, I don't know, just a little bit more realistic to me, even though I try not to, like, overly clutter my builds, because as a player coming in, you don't want, I don't know, when I play, I don't love a lot of clutter. Like, I like clutter, but I also want to be able to find my Sims and, like, know everything they're doing. In this hallway, it was really hard for me to figure out exactly. I wasn't quite in love with this gallery wall from Dine Out, I believe, but it looked really nice, so I kept it. And I also ended up sizing up this vampire rug, or, like, the make your own runner rug, and so it turned out really nice. And I also, like, put a linen closet at the end of the hallway, because I was like, we need some more storage, like, we have all this stuff. And also this gallery wall that I make with the birth certificates, I, like, put the Myshuno frame next to it. And I imagine the parents put in, like, baby pictures, because that's how my mom, she doesn't, like, display with our birth certificates, but she has, like, a baby picture of us. And then, like, our name, what time we were born, where we were born, and then, like, facts from the birth year, and, like, facts about our name origin. And so I just kind of, I don't know, I guess I wasn't entirely inspired by that, but I was like, you know what, this wall could use, like, some birth certificates and stuff, because why not? And now we're hopping into the bathroom. Like I said, there's 3 bathrooms. I showed this bathroom, and then the room, like, right next to it is the grandparents' ensuite. I show both of those, or at least a main majority of both of those. I don't really show me cluttering up the countertop in the grandparents' room, and I don't show the parents' ensuite, just because I was like, 3 bathrooms is a bit much. And so I just kind of cut those out. But with the new bathroom clutter kit, honestly, I found it so much easier to, like, find clutter to use. I mean, that's kind of the whole point, and that's good, but I also never use this, the Parenthood hamper, because I'm like, well, why use that when I can use the real one? But I only used the real one in the laundry room today, and then today, when I did this build this weekend, in that, the base game laundry basket in two of the other rooms. I didn't put a hamper in the kids' room, so I imagined, and the teenager and the kids share rooms, because obviously it's only a 4-bedroom house, and I imagine that there was 8 Sims living here. 8 to 7. I don't know if you want grandpa to live here, if you want grandma to live here. I imagined grandma lived here because there's a whole bunch of knitting and crocheting. Not crocheting. I wish I was crocheting. But like knitting and embroidery stuff around. So, but I mean, grandpa could be into that too. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I keep yawning. But also another thing that like I've known existed, but I complained to my boyfriend while I was doing this build, is that there's no matching like actual sink for the counters I used in the kitchen. Like there's no like red like basin sink and then like a tan like cupboard. But we're going into the parents' room now, and honestly the parents' room the parents have the smallest room, but they also have like that walk-in wardrobe and ensuite. So I was like, I mean, it's kind of win or lose. I also put a desk space in here because there is no like office, and I gave them a laptop, and then I gave one of the oldest teens the digital sketchpad. So there's not that much like actual like fun building activities. I mean, there's plenty of woohoo locations for grandma and grandpa and mom and dad, but as far as the kids go, there isn't too many like things to do. But there's like that park like right outside, and that's kind of what I imagine that the daughter, or the teen who enjoys basketball does. I imagine her, and then the other sister, the child sim, I imagine she was really into soccer. And I didn't give her a soccer ball. I gave her a basketball for some reason. I don't know why I didn't just give her a soccer ball. But I don't think I gave the teen a basketball either. So, oh yeah, I did. But it's not like an actual basketball. I think it's in like the base game sports clutter pile. Oh my gosh, we're already done with the parents' room. We're into the grandparents' room, and I use this base game bed. It's one that I don't use that often, but I thought it matched like really well in here. And then I also use like this mirror that I like never use, and these bedside tables that I never use, and a dresser that I never use. So it's just like a continuation, and like curtains that I never use. So it's like a whole bunch of stuff that I never use, minus the rugs. Oh, another thing I did in this apartment was I used carpet. And carpet is usually not something that I put in my builds. Like I usually do hardwood through like out the entire build just because I like the texture better. And personally, I'd rather have hardwoods over carpets. But almost my entire apartment is carpet. So I was like, it's kind of realistic for like at least some of it to be carpet. So the bedrooms are all carpet, but like the bathrooms are that brownish tile that I also never use just because it's more traditional looking, and I kind of like to go for a more modern bathroom. Excuse me, oh my goodness, a more modern bathroom look. But I also use like a dark wood. I was just kind of really in the mood for a Generation build because obviously with the new Generations pack, not Generations, but Growing Together, with that new pack coming out, I'm very excited for families and game play along. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry I keep yawning. But I'm very excited for like that kind of gameplay. And now we're going to be using, I really want to use different beds in the same room, but that's kind of something I struggle with because I'm like, well, if we have 2 beds, they're probably just gonna buy them from the same space. So I really try to make 2 different swatches work of the same bed because I think it's a lot more realistic that way. And here's the yellow curtains that I was like, where in the heck did I pull yellow out of? Because like there's no yellow in the bed, there's like practically no yellow, but then I put a yellow mirror down. So I'm like, where am I getting this yellow? And then like that orange thing. So like it ends up looking okay, but I was like, where am I getting this from? Like I have no clues. I also gave like them the dollhouse and the kids play table. I think that's supposed to be kind of like a Lego play table from Parenthood. And I obviously gave them a piggy bank, and I gave them just some more posters on the wall, and they end up getting a fish tank. And I believe that they both get journals. Yeah, it looks like they both do. It's just that white one on the white, so it's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, I give them a fish, and it's a fun time. But, and the future cube, I was like, this is something I never put in builds. But now we're just adding the posters for the one child sim who I imagine was kind of into reading and soccer. And then the son, I imagine that since he's the only son, he, like, gets a little bit of slack. Like, I imagine he, like, sleeps in. I put his book bag, like, right on his end table, so I imagine that he, like, is just not very active. Not, like, I guess kind of lazy, because that's a trait in The Sims. So I put his backpack, like, right on his bedstand, so I imagine that he, like, walks, like, wakes up, grabs his backpack, and just walks out the door to school. Like, he, like, does nothing. He just, like, rolls out of bed and goes to school. But now we're in the teenager's bedroom, and oh my goodness, this means we're about done with the video, because this is literally the last thing that I did. But I originally thought of using that mirror to kind of separate the two sides, but as you'll see, I didn't do that. I put it over there, and I put some makeup by it because, you know, that's the thing. I don't do it, but some people, like, sit in front of their mirror. And here's that hamper that I said I used. Sit in front of their mirror and put on makeup. And I also use the base game light switches in this build, which is something I'm not doing in the next... Wait, I think I do it in the next build. Sorry, lied. This teen over here is kind of into drawing. I imagine they were about ready to graduate. I also used the pink beanbag chair from the high school years pack, which is something that I don't use that often. And I also sized up this rug and, like, put 2 in it, and I really liked how it looked. But this video is wrapping up, and so if you like this build and you want to download it, it is on the Sims 4 gallery under my Origin ID. Oh my goodness, under my Origin ID, alisonlogue, or under hashtag alpalsgames. And if you also enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate a big thumbs up, and go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube channel if you have, to my YouTube channel if you have not already. And thank you guys all so much, and I'll see you on Sunday with a new build. Okay, bye!